Hello and welcome to Commuting Studio. On this episode I'm helping you to find the right bike for you, which will be versatile, super for commuting and spending some time on it during weekends and maybe even during some of your vacation days. So we've got two different models here. The silver one here is the Focus Jarifa, and that's the trekking bike, and the blue one up there is the Trek 1.2, which is the road bike. The problem is that what used to be called a trekking bike and a road bike today can be called different names, like a trekking bike, traveling bike, adventure bike, and that one up there would be called like a endurance road, sportive bike, or even if it gets a flat bar, it suddenly becomes a hybrid bike. So that's kind of confusing for the buyer, and I'm going to help you by saying you what kind of features you should be looking at to make a right choice for you and be a happy cyclist. So let's start with some of the features that those two bikes have in common. And the first and foremost that we might think that it should be different, but it's in common, that's the comfort in terms of the geometry. Both bikes have really comfortable geometry. We could think that the road bike should be like more aggressive, more aerodynamic, and the trekking bike will be more like relaxed position and more upright position, but it's not just like that, because those sportive, like entry-level and sportive road bikes can have really long head tube and super upright position. So actually I have to tell you that this one will be even more relaxed than this one here. So if you are commuting, you want to bear that in mind. You want to have probably like a more upright position to see everything and just feel comfortable on the bike. You don't have to be so aerodynamic, as you are not maybe hitting so many miles per hour. And what could be surprising here, the Trek 1.2 will be more comfortable. But then the Focus as the trekking bike will of course be a bit heavier, but the frame set will be more stable. So this one is made for working under load and giving you the feel of super safe traveling, maybe on long rides, some descents, when you put those racks in the back, maybe also on the fork, and you put something on those backs. This bike under load will really ride brilliantly. Why is it so? The frame is a bit stronger than that one, but also there is a huge difference in terms of geometry. Look, when we are measuring the wheelbase, like from axle to axle here, on this one we have 110 centimeters. So 110 centimeters, that's quite a long bike. If we look at those, at this wheelbase on our road bike, it will have like 99 centimeters. So it's 11 centimeters of a difference. This bike is much longer. It will behave, it will be much more stable, but that one with a shorter wheelbase will feel more nimble. And perhaps in the city while commuting, you would like to have something more nimble. You know, we're passing people, cars and different obstacles in the city during traffic jam or so. You might think about this one. Of course, this one will do just fine, but just to show you that the difference here in terms of the geometry is huge. Now, in terms of how upright you would sit on this bike, we have just around 15 centimeters of the head tube length. But look at this one. This one has 18 or 19 centimeters. That's a huge difference. And it's not because this frame is of a bigger size, because the top tube here, you want to measure this one when you're buying the bike, has 56, maybe 0.5 centimeters. And here, this one is even shorter. It has 55, if I remember well. Oh, come here. This one has, this one has 55. So we have a shorter top tube, right? And a longer head tube, which allows you to sit much more upright, in a much more upright position. So don't simply assume that road bikes will be more aggressive. Of course, if you look at the road bike like this one here, that's not the Sportive road bike. That's the road bike for racing, and this head tube will be much shorter. This one will be aggressive and aerodynamic. This one is made for speed but also for comfort, so will be much more versatile. Now about gearing. Those two bikes have 27 speed, meaning that we've got triple crankset in the front and 9-speed cassette in the rear. But the difference here will be also that this Sportive road bike will have better gearing for high speed. So if you want to hit like really fast speed, high speed on the descents, you will be happy with this drivetrain. But then this one, trekking bike, will allow you to ride steep climbs, right? So if you are commuting and you live in the hilly terrain, you don't want to be sweating, of course, going to work. Those 22 teeth on the smallest chainring versus 30 on the smallest there on the road bike give you a lot of difference. So look at not only the gearing ratio, but what's the gearing made for. This one will be more for speed because you have a lighter bike, and maybe you would like to go like faster. This one will be slower. This is like, you know, this is really like a bike for a weekend rides, for 2 days or even more rides, more days of a ride, kind of a traveler. Still will be fine for commuting. Now the advantage, in my opinion, of this trekking bike in most of the cities is the tires. Why is it so? Let's measure them. Now the wheel size is 700 by 23C on that one and 700 by 32 on this one, meaning that the diameter of the wheel is the same, but the tires will be pretty much different. The width of the tire on this trekking bike is 28 mils here, 28 millimeters, sorry. And on this one we have much less, which is just 22. So this one will give you much more comfort, and also those will be much more puncture resistant. So if you sometimes just don't think about reinflating your tires and you hit some bumps on the road, you can just pinch flat your tire having 23C tire, but having 32C tire, you are just safer. And also the profile of the tire, here you've got somewhere around like 26 millimeters, and on this one we'll have this one will give you like, I see 27 here. It's pretty much the same actually, the profile of the tire, but this one will be much wider, and also the frame set can accommodate even wider tires. Let's measure that one, and that will be also one of the features you want to be looking at. If we measure the distance between the seat stays here in the rear, just below the rim, we've got here like 6.5 centimeters, so large distance, 6.5 here. And when we look at the road bike, we'll have just around 6. So we have like half of the centimeter less distance, and in the front on the fork the difference will be even more. Here we have 7 centimeters, and here we have 6 centimeters. So you will be able to put some wider tire on this one. There you've got now 23C, which is quite thin. You will be able to put 25, maybe 27 as well, but not more. Here you already have 32C, and you have still like a lot of clearance. You can see that, a lot of clearance here for your tire. So comfort, and also if you don't have like super, you know, roads for cyclists and paths on your city, you would like to have some more like bump absorption, and the wider tires will give you that. All right, Now for the brakes. Many of the traveling bike or adventure bikes now will have disc brakes, but the lower models will still have a V-brakes, like this one. V-brakes versus those caliper brakes are just stronger. So once more, if you put some load on your bike and hitting some descent, those V-brakes will be stronger. And if we think about it in terms of commuting in the city, there is also difference in terms of your levers, right? Here we have a road specific handlebar, so you can be riding on the hoods, and then braking is not as comfortable as simply here on the flat bar. You can see the difference now. To brake like with really a lot of power, you have to lean more on your bike and go to the drops, and then you can really pull those levers with the force. Here those levers are always at hand, so if you're riding just in the city commuting, you can always brake if something comes up. If you ride like here on the top of your handlebar, if something comes up and you have to brake suddenly, those levers are not as handy as these here on the trekking bike, so bear that in mind. One thing more in terms of your comfort, here we have a steel fork, super compliant, and here we have a carbon fork. For commuting guys who are often not super light, it's good to have the aluminum steering tube because it's more durable, and this one has it. But the carbon fork, comparing to a steel fork, really is not as comfortable. It's nice to have carbon fork instead of aluminum fork, like straight one. But if you have like a steel fork, it's not now kind of rare on the bikes. But if you have steel fork, it will be much more compliant. Of course, super durable, super strong, and will give you really more comfort. What about durability of the wheels? As long as you have a lot of spokes on the road bike, like here you have 24, even more than on this one, those wheels will be strong. You don't have to be worrying that this is a road bike, so the wheels on the road bike will not be super strong, super durable. Even if you are a heavy rider, those wheels with 24 spokes will do just fine for you. So who should go for a sportive bike for commuting, and who should go for the trekking bike? If you like a nimble bike, you like to be faster, you don't have to be putting any racks maybe on your bike, though you are able to, because you have here some adapters for like mud guards or racks. Or here also you have these bolts here, also on the fork. Then you would go for the sportive bike. It will be lighter, it will be more nimble, and if you like to go faster sometimes, that's the one to go for. Now, if you are commuting and you're never in rush, you can go for a heavier bike, and if you put some load on your bike, maybe you are a photographer or something, and you really put like 15, 20 kilos on your bicycle, this one will really be the one to go for. And also on the hilly terrain, remember about the gearing. The trekking bike usually will give you the chance to go up the hills. And one more thing is also that this trekking bike will allow you to go through some, forest or some just terrain. This one can work as a mountain bike a bit as well. That one, not at all. That one, not at all. One more thing about this trekking bike is that you have a specially designed kickstand for this one. If it's really handy for you, that one doesn't have it. So these are the main features, guys. Remember, those trekking bikes could be called the adventure bike, the traveling bike as well, but it's not only for traveling. In my opinion, for commuting, it's just fine. The one up there as the endurance road or sportive bike or entry-level road bike will have as comfy geometry, will be a bit lighter, will have less wheelbase, this one at least. And if you compare all those features, then you will be able to make a right choice for you. I hope this was helpful. If you have any further questions, put them below the video in the comment section, and I'll be answering those. I'll be happy to do that. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye bye.